Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your midweek A Cow's Opinion. The Cow's Opinion, which is where I, the Advanced Gaming Cow, go over all the biggest and greatest news and events that are coming up, and just go ahead and tell you my opinion on them. And it's okay not to be mad about it because it is a cow's opinion. It's a moot point and does not matter. Today, we are looking at some really big franchises. I mean, the biggest of the big to help that algorithm out. And also because that's where the noise is. Literally, the noise. And if you didn't know where the other noise is, Sonic Frontiers comes out tomorrow. Ogre Battle comes out on Friday. There's God of War, Ragnarok is out this week. There's a lot of stuff coming out, man. So, we're going to have to get some news where we can before we all start playing video games. It's a wonderful problem. And first up on our stories today, Final Fantasy XVI will be exclusive to the PS5 for 6 months. But it's not yet clear what that means. Now, the next main Final Fantasy game, which I really want to play, even though it's got a battle system that is not super Final Fantasy to me, but still looks amazing, don't get me wrong, is only going to be a PS5 exclusive title for 6 months. If you're doing the math, that means it's probably going to be available for the holidays for PC and Xbox. So if you want to dodge those spoilers, you can. Now, it's not sure what that actually means, though, because elsewhere in the same ad, another Square Enix published game, Forspoken, is described as PS5 exclusive until January 23rd of 2025, which is 2 years. Now, it hasn't been clear as to what that means. After 6 months, does Final Fantasy XVI get to come out on Xbox, or is it only coming out on PC? And Polygon was not reached for a verdict behind. Everybody knows that Square Enix is a big company, and Sony has been paying them a lot of money as a fellow Japanese company to have some, exclusive, which is weird, because they keep talking about how Activision Blizzard can't give exclusives to Xbox if they buy them. So, really, really stupid. But lately, Square Enix, especially as the higher-ups have mentioned, that they need to be focused on a more worldwide audience for their AAA titles, and need to make some games a bit more Western to appeal to the current consumer trends, are noticing that, the PS5 isn't quite as dominant as previous PlayStation consoles were during their life cycles. So PC is becoming more and more relevant, especially as independent game studios will sell on Steam. And the Epic Games Store to a lesser degree, but still, that's making money too, guys. So Final Fantasy XVI is currently released for summer in 2023, and it's going to tell the story of stuff I can't pronounce, but it looks amazing, and I really want to play it. Moving on, Mass Effect had a fantastic new teaser. Now, they don't know if Commander Shepard is still alive, but the evidence is mounting. So, instead of releasing a full-blown trailer, BioWare released its latest salvo of clues for the upcoming sci-fi RPG today, including ambient video of a new mass array, giant space stations that shoot ships around the galaxy being built, and there are nods to the original trilogy ship Normandy, the villainous group Cerberus, and a whole lot more. That was weird because Cerberus were the good guys in 2 and the bad guys in 3. Didn't quite make as much sense. So, along with the release of this nice little teaser image, they also released some garbled audio for players and fans to decipher as a little fun trick. So, basically, people have already started taking it apart, and fans have been cleaning up the audio. The first part is Liara, a very big character from the series, saying exactly, the council will be furious, although they should know by now not to underestimate. And it then lets you know that the conversation continues, seemingly interspread with Geth sounds, but the rest is hard to make out. Still, it seems to indicate that the Council, the Systems Alliance governing body, is still intact, and thus the fallout from the Reaper invasion didn't send the galaxy into some new dark age. And I want to skip down here to here because somebody has also decoded the other half, which is, although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance. Now, as we all know, one big question ever since the next Mass Effect was revealed was how the original Trinity and Andromeda could be tied together, since there's a 600-year gap between them. That's how long it took colonists to get to the new galaxy and begin exploring, because there's no mass relay to help them travel. The mass relays, if you haven't played Mass Effect, only work in the current galaxy that we as humanity live in. You can get from any point in the galaxy, but you need a relay at the start and stop points. If you don't have a relay, you can't get anywhere. It's possible that the new game will simply pick up at that new, much later date. Although Liara is in the first trailer, Asari can live to be over 1,000 years old. Time travel is another possible answer, given that the entire series is premised on faster-than-light travel through the manipulation of mass and energy. And a big question everybody wants to know is whether the hero of the first 3 games, Shepard, is still alive. Now, there's now overwhelming evidence that the canonical ending from Mass Effect 3 is the one where the player destroys synthetic life and the mass relays, which kind of makes sense because, as you can see in this teaser, it looks like they're building a mass relay. You would have to do that if you destroyed everything. A final scene shows someone reluctant to Shepard's name on a memorial, and later cuts to the captain of the Normandy gasping, between Liara seemingly discovering Shepard's old armor on Earth, and the new game possibly taking place shortly after the end of the trilogy, if the 2190 days to be believed. Maybe everyone's favorite space renegade isn't so dead after all. A piece of merch on the bio store initially said as much, but it was quickly clarified as to be an error. Is it an error, or was it just an accidental release? I don't know. We don't even have, but this is going to be a while, you guys. The article also says we don't have a release date for Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and the studio's been working on that since 2018's mess of Anthem. But it's nice to have these teasers and to just, poke fans a little. I like fun little stuff like that. Good job, Ethan. And our next story is a reason why Take-Two has tons of money and why they don't feel the need to release massive DLC. Grand Theft Auto 5 has reached 170 million units sold, and Red Dead Redemption has hit 70. Now, the total franchise sales for GTA is 385 million, but 170 of those are GTA 5. As pointed out by the Dom's Playing on Twitter, that's a smaller jump from the nearly 170 million mentioned in Take-Two's latest quarter. In the same report, GTA 5 sold around 5 million copies in a single quarter. Speaking to GameIndustry.biz, Take-Two President VP of Finance Hannah Sage noted that the company only updates you every 5 million. It goes on to say that Red Dead Redemption has 2 million since the last earnings call, and the franchise, which is 1 and 2, has sold 70 million units worldwide. They've also been looking into their mobile future, but there have been cuts to that, and people aren't really sure how mobile is going. But regardless, both Rockstar Games series have crushed industry records for years now. GTA 5 made $1 billion in retail sales faster than any entertainment release in history, a feat it achieved in only 3 days. And even though it's a decade old, the game looks amazing, and the developer is still pushing out next-gen patches for open-world heists. Thank you to Miss Andrea Sharon for writing this article. This is a reason why, first of all, they're not rushing GTA 6. 5 is still selling, as well as all that DLC, the microtransactions. It's just, people literally make their living off of playing Grand Theft Auto 5 still on Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, why there's a reason why when GTA 6's source code was leaked by that one hacker, that, it was still in fairly early alpha. They're not rushing this. This is a lot of money to them, and they have no reason to put out a garbage product that will hurt the franchise. They're making too much money to get it wrong. Hopefully they're not crunching. Based on how long they're taking, I don't think there's a need to crunch. That would be really stupid, but crunch is something that we will have to keep an eye on. It's something that is affecting the entire industry. What did you guys think of these stories? And what do you think of our next story as we move on? As always, you can like, comment, and subscribe down below. I hate having to say it, but the YouTube algorithm is actually right that when I say that, you're more likely to do it. So, do it as we move on to our next portion of the video. And for our final story for our midweek update, ladies and gentlemen, I had to reset several times because apparently I want to say that Mark Zuckerberg undid my microphone settings for some reason because he didn't want me to talk about how Facebook is firing 11,000 people after they spent $15 billion on the metaverse. Now, this report from John Walker out of Kotaku is not... I'm not stuttering like I sometimes do, man. That is a head count of 11,000 and 15 billion with a B lost. So if you know what's happening right now, a lot of tech companies, especially those that had to overstaff during the pandemic, when I can't say much about, or else YouTube will suppress this video, but people were home a lot more, you couldn't go out, you couldn't do things, so your online and streaming stuff got a lot more necessary. However, Meta, which owns things like Facebook and Instagram, says that they're going to cut 13% of its workforce, a total of 11,000 employees out of work. This comes in the wake of the company having spent an extraordinary, which remember is made up of the words extraordinary, $15 billion on its metaverse project. Now, for those of you who somehow don't know, Facebook rebranded to Meta to push its metaverse. It believes that they can, with a headset, get everybody to spend a lot more time, and more importantly, a lot more money, what they're calling Web3 virtual reality. It sucks, it's unnecessary, and it's stupid. Zuckerberg would say that today I'm sharing some of the most difficult changes we've made in Meta's history. I've decided to reduce the size of our team by about 13% and let more than 11,000 of our talented employees go. This is a lot of news sites, a lot of online sites, and a lot of technology sites, places that are really dependent on ad revenue and other things, are feeling the pinch of that recession and inflation and are going to have to adapt. So the article goes on to say that, because of that worldwide thing that we can't really talk about, Facebook's now Meta just hired drastically to keep up with everything. And unfortunately did not understand that when people could go outside again, our habits might return to maybe not as normal, but a new normal. I'm not as active outside as I used to be, but I am more active now, and I'm starting to work out more, starting to go out and do places. It's really cool. Vaccines are great, blah, blah, blah. Many people predicted this would be a permanent acceleration that would continue even after the P word ended. I did so too, so I made the decision to significantly increase our investments. But Zuckerberg has to go on to say, he referenced the macroeconomic downturn, the increased competition, and ad signals loss. I got this wrong, and I take responsibility for that. Okay, look, to any CEO who ever sees this little video, I understand that you think you're taking responsibility. Your rear isn't getting fired. So these people don't care that you're taking responsibility. More than 1 out of 10 of your employees are going to be without a job at a time when all of your competitors or like-minded industries and companies are either frozen or also reducing headcount. So it's going to be hard for these people. And you taking responsibility isn't going to happen. Now, the curious thing about this is that he doesn't talk about anything on Reality Labs, the disastrous, and that is an accurate word. I don't always agree with Kotaku. That's an accurate word right there. Metaverse project that even the company's own developers don't want to use. Now, again, you're supposed to spend all of your time and money, and the article references the $15 billion spent since last year. It's not even been 2 full years. And it has reduced the average quarterly revenue of the company to just $30 million. Facebook used to print money. I know $30 million every 3 months is a lot, not for a company Facebook's size, power, and reach. And especially not with them dumping billions into something that nobody wanted. Now, they reached out to Meta to ask exactly why he doesn't reference this. But he does say it's an enormous effort the subject seemed to have left out of his statement, not least when he says he's shifted more of our resources onto a smaller number of high-priority growth areas, which includes their long-term vision for the metaverse. Now, again, Zuckerberg doesn't say anything about his massive spending, which is also meaning that they just don't have the cash flow and savings to support the company until things get better. Fired staff will be receiving 16 weeks base pay, then an extra 2 weeks for every year of employment, and all of the remaining PTO. So, you know what? Kudos for that, because you're going to get at least 4 months pay. You get another half month. So if you've been there 6 years, you get an extra 3 months. So at least for that. And if you have any vacation time, you're being made whole. Their families are also going to get their health insurance for 6 months, and then for 3 months of career support, and vitally, immigration support. Some people who work for massive companies are not American citizens, and if they don't have a job within a certain field that the government says, yeah, that's okay. If you come for technology, you have to be in a technology-related field. You can't just get a job at a local gas station or supermarket or something until you get back on your feet. Overseas employees are receiving similar support, so it's at least good. Affected staff will also be finding their access to most Meta systems is now cut off, although they'll get to use their email address for the rest of the day. They ain't using it anyway, so it's okay. They also got sweeping cutbacks. They've got a lot of stuff. It's the usual stuff. They're selling things. There's a hiring freeze. They're trying to find out what money they can get. This is a sad moment, says Zuckerberg, acknowledging that even those who are staying will be worrying about their future. And with trademark hubris in the face of laying off 13% of his staff, he then has the gall of this man, to add, I believe we are deeply underestimated as a company today, referencing that their shares have fallen to 30% of where they were at the start of they've lost 2/3 of their share value too, which is not a good look and actually hurts employee retention, bonuses, investment opportunities, money raising. Guys, the metaverse sucks. The graphics aren't great, and even though those are going to improve, even the people who are making the metaverse don't spend any time in it. They don't want to take meetings in it. You're wearing a bulky, heavy headset all day. That's not what they're made for. Not to even sort out online, you saw people were like resting in comfortable chairs or on their backs so that the weight didn't bother them. Not to mention, not only that, but here's something that he's not telling you. The Metaverse headset, as it stands now, is going to retail for about $1,500. It's going to retail for that much because it's also going to have a lot of Office programs and other stuff in it. But here's the thing. Even the PlayStation 5's recently announced VR headset, which costs more than the PlayStation, is, I believe, $500 to $700. So Facebook wants you to, I'm not calling him Meta, it's stupid. Zuckerberg, I'll call him his name. Zuckerberg wants you to spend over 2 to 3 times as much money for his headset. That is too expensive, and it has too much stuff that a regular consumer doesn't want or need for me and you to buy it. Which means that his goal is for companies to buy these in bulk for their workers so that their workers will spend all the time in the metaverse, and then they can also sell software subscriptions and other things to make tons of money off of this. But that's ridiculous. If you've been to an office in the last couple of years, they don't even have massive they have these tiny little PC towers because everything is on a network and you only need the PC to be able to connect solidly with the network. They have inexpensive monitors. They buy like mice and keyboards and stuff in bulk from places like Office Depot or even GameStop because you just need the bare minimum to get these people onto the network. And here, Zuckerberg wants a $1,500 premium ticket for massive companies to buy these like 5 to 1,000 minimum, probably, bulk orders. And then also, hey, once they're in our headsets, you know, you won't be able to use the computer stuff anymore. So they'll have to transition their software to us, and we can charge them annual software stuff. It's not going to happen. There's no interest in this. I don't know what he's doing. He's making Jim Cramer cry on stuff when, honestly, look, I know people give Cramer a lot of flack, but I do have to ask how he didn't see it coming. Nobody wants this stuff. And at $1,500, it's priced out of you and me. There'll be some YouTubers or tech people who get it for like the novelty or to do like coverage and videos and articles on it. But they're not going to make money off of that. A lot of them are going to get it for like reduced price or free just for the PR. This is not going to work. And Facebook really needs to be focusing on less Meta, more Facebook. Because Twitter is going through its pains with Elon Musk right now. You've got a real opportunity to drastically make Facebook a better place now that Twitter is stumbling. And you're blowing it, spending $15 billion on a fantasy project that doesn't make economical or monetary or business sense. So guys, what did you think about this story and all the other stories in the comments below? Let me know. As well as you can like, comment, and subscribe. I hate to say it, but it's been proven that it's more likely to happen if I say it. We are continuing to get very close. Ogre Battle in 2 days starts appearing on the channel. I will also have to figure out what to do because YouTube will punish you if you release more than 2 videos a day. So I'm going to probably start releasing 2 Point Campus videos on Sundays as well. Not only to get them out to you a little faster, but also at the end of the month Front Mission comes on and we have to be able to do 1 or 2 news videos a week as well. But I can't release them if I'm doing 2 Point Campus and Front Mission on the same day because the channel will get pushed down. The YouTube considers it spamming or something, I've learned. I'm not sure. But guys, let me know what you think, what you want to hear about, what you want to see me play, what you want me to do. It's a channel made for fun, guys. Enjoy your hump day so much. Thank you for tuning in and play more games because games are awesome and you, yes you deserve that awesome. And I'll see you next time.